Hi everybody, and welcome back to me going through my favorites list on fanfiction.net. Again, I am sorting all the stories on my favorites list by publication date, starting with the oldest and coming to the most recent, rereading them all, seeing whether they still deserve a spot on my list or not, and sharing my opinions with the world. So let's just go right into it with Melancholy Smile by TokehGecko. So this story is pretty much canon, like similar to canon. All the events happen a lot in the same way, with the exception of Naruto's behavior, in that he acts similarly to Naruto from the last video, the story Lost Soul, in that he's kind of like very emotionless and curt. Well, at least that was an intention, but this is very much non-emotionless Naruto, but he is broken as a shell of a person, where he just wants to die because, the villagers hate him and they constantly are trying to kill him, and so, but he loves the village and believes that, okay, so the village wants me to die, then I should probably die, and he just tries to kill himself. And it's actually interesting as opposed to the last one, because he's an actual character. I mean, granted, at the beginning, Naruto starts off as like a one-note character where he just wants to die, but that's still one more note than Lost Soul had. But also, he only starts as a one-note character. He even in the beginning, like even when he has just those facts that he wants to die, he already shows like anger and hatred at people who claim it and don't, deliver and stuff, and that's another dimension, and it's interesting. Like that as a character is interesting. And then it goes forward where the relationships between his teammates, are vastly different, and they are interesting as well, with like Sasuke just being super pragmatic, and then when he finds out about, the Super Sharingan Mangekyo or whatever, and he's like, I gotta kill my best friend, it's like, oh, Naruto's closest, and he wants me to kill him anyway, so hey, good, win-win, and stuff like that. And Sakura actually trying to connect with him, it's interesting because, you see those connections, and you also see Naruto as he keeps going through the different situations in canon, and like you see his, just his presence itself gives off an unnerving vibe even through the text, and you can sense like a deep sadness and just really odd behavior that I think is really, really great, and I just wish that there was more of it. I mean, the writer is still writing on fanfiction.net, like as early as like March, I think was the last time he outputted something, but he's still there, or he or she. Maybe they'll continue it, I doubt it, but I really wish they would. And yeah, this is really great, definitely stays on my list. Alright, next up is another Naruto fic, this time with Disgaea so we got Overlord by Chibi-Reaper, and yeah, I like this a lot. It starts out a little bit after the wave mission, and we get a bunch of Disgaea humor and stuff, and all the characters, but they're really just pushed to the side, whereas Kakashi basically doesn't want to train Naruto and only train Sasuke because he wants Naruto to depend only on the Kyuubi's power. And then we have like Hinata, who's fun, female Gaara chasing around Naruto, wanting to get in his pants, and all the Disgaea stuff is basically, aside from Naruto and his and the powers he's gained, is basically just pushed to the side and only exists as a side note. But it's still fun, and like the power levels that come in when Naruto, just shooting through the roof, because hey, Disgaea power levels are fucking insane, and yeah, they wouldn't scale compared to Naruto. But it's still interesting. Quality wise though, I will say it's not the best. I'd give it a B, but it's one that it's definitely hitting me, and I get super shit tons of enjoyment out of it. So it's still okay, and it's definitely enjoyable, So if you like Disgaea or Naruto, I'd say definitely check it out. Maybe it won't hit you as well as it did me, but for me, it definitely goes to my sweet spot, and so it's staying on my list. Right. Now, there's a lot of Naruto this video. So now we got a secret revealed by ravengal, which is an epilogue to a different fic, which I had talked about previously, with the Heart and Underwear of Fire. That was a fic that I had kept because Boxer Sama was really fun. It's a short fic that starts, like, literally continues right with the last sentence of the other fic, and it basically is just like a small coda that wraps up and shows that, oh, okay, everybody likes Naruto and everybody's no hard feelings, and honestly it's a little like schmaltzy and sugary. Everybody's like just wraps up, everything's super nice, super happy, everybody loves Naruto, but there's not really any jokes or anything in it. It's just kind of happy-go-lucky thing, and it's okay. You know, if you really needed closure, or you needed this scene or an extra scene after the end, it can do okay. It doesn't ruin the previous fic, but at the same time, it doesn't match the tone fully. It's just too happy, not funny, you know. So it's okay, but I didn't need it, and yeah, it's gonna fly off my list. All right. Okay. Next is Cutting Strings by the Magnificent It. Boy. So let's start off with the good things. The initial idea is good. You know, Naruto gets kidnapped by a bunch of cultists who worship the Kyuubi, and so they spend like 2 days trying to free him, and in the time basically mutilate him, so he becomes a quadriplegic. Like, his arms are worthless, so they get chopped off, and they literally end it by trying to cut him in half to break the seal. So he has no legs and nothing below the waist. And so that's it. And then the third Hokage gets one of the sand people to turn him into essentially a puppet, and he learns chakra strings and all that. And that's interesting. You know, like, you get a kid who's got, you know, obvious body issues and all these things, and the novel idea of, like, you know, puppetry and stuff and having to puppet yourself. It's interesting. What else is good? There's a bunch of funny scenes that exist throughout. A bunch of characters are made into butt monkeys, with Anko and Zabuza being the two biggest ones, really. And they're fun. I enjoyed the scenes with them and all that. But that's about it, you know. As for the actual story and the writing, shit ton of spelling errors that it's not prevalent enough to make it unreadable, but definitely more than enough to be It's more than enough to be noticeable. I don't think there's a single clean chapter in the much. Like, everything has their spelling mistakes, and it's constantly like you have to puzzle. It's annoying. Another annoyance is that the author will constantly just, like, whenever in the middle of a sentence, not like separate or anything, but in the middle of sentences, in the middle of paragraphs, he'll just put parentheses and then just make little interjections to be like, oh, it's like, Haku said he, she, maybe? I don't know, whatever. And then it just keeps continuing the sentence, and it's like, it happens again and again and again, and it's pretty much useless, totally unnecessary, and really irritating as well. He obviously did not. This writer didn't really. I don't know if they knew how to go off the rails or not, but, like, you know, the premise changes the character a lot, Naruto, and a lot of things, and that's going to lead to a lot of differences, considering he's now been attacked violently. Like, at least as far as we know, that never happened in the show in the past, and, you know, he's got no fucking limbs. So yeah, he's going to be different, but at the same time, the story has such a slavish devotion to canon where every single event still occurs. Like, biggest point, or good example, the Great Naruto Bridge at the Wave Mission. Like, it's only called that because of who Naruto is as a character and how he interacts with Inari and everybody else at Wave. but that doesn't happen in this story. He doesn't even talk to Inari. Like, that whole scene where he says that he tells Inari to wake up and that other people have it worse, that doesn't happen. It doesn't even happen with a different character. Sasuke doesn't say it either. Like, it just doesn't occur. The whole thing with all the villagers coming to defend the bridge and stop the mercenaries, that doesn't happen either. Like, nothing, there's no reason for it to happen other than the fact that it happened in canon. And then again, during the same mission, the tree walking session. It's like, oh, it's tree walking. So what? That's a time where Naruto doesn't know it, and Sasuke he's either got to be in a rivalry with Sasuke and doing that. So that's got to happen, right? Like, why? I don't know if it's super true or not, but I assume the case is like chakra strings, which is what Naruto uses to control his body and move the puppets and stuff. That should be way harder chakra control wise than tree walking and stuff. And he's been doing chakra strings for fucking years. Why would he have problems with this in that kind of at least to the point where, oh, it's just slightly better than Sasuke, other than the fact that it's in canon. And then same issue with character relationships, that, like, you know, this Naruto is completely different from all the others, and not all the others, but he's very different from canon. But at the same time, when Sasuke retrieval arc fucking comes, oh, Sasuke, you're my best friend, all that, like, he barely speaks to Sasuke throughout the entire thing. And he doesn't give a shit about Sakura. She's barely mentioned, like, at all, and yet the whole promise becomes super important, and everything must be done for her, and all this stuff. And it's like, he started off with a great premise or at least a good premise and a good idea that made a very, very big shift, but then didn't use it and didn't realize how much that should actually change the characters, and so he just follows the canon beat by beat, and it's annoying. The characters' relationships don't care. The whole Sasuke retrieval arc and Sasuke's fight, that fight takes like a bunch of chapters, and I did not give a shit throughout any of it because the relationships aren't real. Their character, they don't talk to each other. These characters should not care about each other. The relationships don't matter, so I don't care because the fight doesn't matter, and it just did not work for me. This fic gets the fuck off my list as fast as I possibly can do it. Alright, let's go a little bit more jovial. What's the Worst That Can Happen by Legendary Legacy. It's the next one. It's another Naruto. I think all of these are actually Naruto ones. Yeah, okay. I did not realize that, but wow, okay, 8 Naruto ones in a row. Alright, but this one is What's the Worst That Can Happen? It's basically just a short fic about unlimited ultimate power. Like, the QB just gives them ultimate power, Naruto ultimate power, and it's like what happens. And it's got like 2 punchlines. Like, it has a single punchline, and then it's like, hey, you want an alternate ending? Here you go, and it's that. And both of them work. Like, I started remembering this as I was going through it, and as I was reading the first 1 or 2 paragraphs, I was like, oh yeah, it's this, and it's probably gonna get off my list and stuff. But I just kept laughing as I kept continuing, and I found it fun. Both the endings work in whichever way you want to take it. I just super enjoyed this fic, and yeah, so it's funny. I really like it, and it stays on my list. All right. Keeping on the fun train, we have The Night the House of Cards Was Built by Drakensis. So this is a unfinished fic that had 2 chapters. I actually think somebody else picked up or like tried to rewrite it, and I'm not sure if that's on my favorites list as well, but it might show up later. But this is still like the original version. It's only 2 chapters, but it's still enough to have a huge amount of setup. A lot of stuff happened because it's 2 chapters, but it's 25,000 words, which is pretty long for only 2 chapters. But it's still really funny. You know, like Kurenai and Anko are really fun when they play off each other, and Chibi Naruto is like just so naively innocent, and like the fun in that and cute. He's cute, funny, and it's super fun. The council members and all that stuff that goes on in this poker night for council members is really funny, and all the reactions that happen when Naruto wins and stuff. It's super fun. I wish there was more, but what's here is still great, and it's gonna stay on my list. Alright, almost over. Kunoichi Returned by Revenant Dragoon. This is another one that didn't continue. However, this is only one chapter, and it's very much like meant to be a first chapter and not anything substantial on its own, which basically is just the premise. It's just showing the premise, and then it's like that, oh, Sasuke and Naruto have a fight, Sasuke uses the Edo Tensei, and then his mom shows up, and she's basically reborn, but it can only exist near Naruto, and hey, she seems to have the hots for Naruto, and he has the hots for her, and then they come back, and Tsunade maybe has the hots for him too, and yeah, that's how it is. Maybe it could have been more, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why I put it on my favorites list, I don't really know, but coming back and rereading it, yeah, there's nothing here, so it's gone. Alright, and last for this video is, yay, another Naruto. Like I said, lots of Naruto here. But yeah, this is another collection called, this one's called What If by Rorschach's Blot, and it's similar to his previous one of the stories. I already talked about Odd Ideas, in that it's just it's a collection. It's not a story. It's more. It's like a dumping ground for unfinished fics or stuff. But this time all about Naruto, and same with Odd Ideas. I love this guy and the writings, the multi-chapter ideas that he's come through or thought of in this. They're all interesting. You know, like especially two of the ones that I love is essentially the Make-A-Wish version, Naruto version of Make-A-Wish, where he's, you know, man who knew too little, like just walking around doing stupid shit, and then everybody's thinking he's a badass ninja because of it. But that's fun. Accidental Instructor with Sensei Anko teaching Team 7, like that's super awesome. I love it. This is great. And he still updates it every now and then with more ideas that come out of his head, so I love it. And yeah, this stays on my list. So there we go, 8 Naruto fics. Wow, yeah, we'll get something different starting next time, but yeah, there we go. And if you guys like this video, please leave a like or a comment down there. Again, links, or if not links, URLs for all the stories are in the description as well. If you want to keep up to date when I'm doing this, subscribe or, you know, hit it up. And thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.